Today on Ask the Oracle, we've got a really exciting, juicy subject, riding the roller coaster of change. Life transitions are very rarely linear. They twist, dip, and launch us into unexpected directions. In this transformational episode, I welcome Catherine Bowyer, transformation specialist and founder of the Happiness Hive, for a soulful conversation on riding the roller coaster of change. Together, we explore how to stay grounded in soul wisdom while still harnessing strategic insight during times of upheaval. From heartbreak to reinvention, this episode offers empowering pathways to face life's flux with grace, grit, and luminous spirit. Hi, Catherine. How are you, my love?
Oh, so good, Susie. I'm really looking forward to having this chat with you. Really looking forward to it.
Hey, from chaos to clarity. I've done that many times throughout my life. And, I'm really looking forward to diving into these questions with you. So I'll get started. Um, Soul meets strategy. When life throws those curveballs, how do you discern whether it's a divine detour or not?
Oh my gosh. For me, soulmate strategy, I've been thinking about this a lot. And my background is in the corporate world of executive coaching and leadership coaching. And that's where I sort of started, was like my stomping ground. And I work with people from all around the world about helping them to live their best and most beautiful lives. So I do a lot of um, life coaching, holistic coaching now. So it's not just in that executive space. And I used to very much at the beginning, it was about strategy. What do you need to do to get from A to B? And, what is the doingness? That whole masculine energy that we have about how do we actually do the thing? And there were some good results, but it just wasn't that holistic approach. So for me, it's very much about bringing the soul of who you are into what you're wanting to achieve in life. And it's about, I think you need both. You need strategy, but you also need to dive into who you are, what you're here for, and bringing the soul, the heart, the essence of you, and marrying it together with the strategy to then be the best, live the best, have the best in life. So that's where the soul meets strategy comes in. And we were having just a little chat off air, Susie, about being intuitives and how we love connecting with other intuitives. That the soul part is about bringing all of us into what we're doing and having that, really tapping into that intuition as well. So I guess, I don't know if that answered your question. Sorry, I go
Does
off
answer it
topic.
so beautifully.
I go off
I
topic a
think,
lot.
yeah, it answers it so beautifully. I'm also from the corporate space many years ago now,
Mm,
and that forcing, pushing,
yeah,
work hard, you know, uh, led to a burnout for me,
yeah,
and often does lead to burnout at some point. I think balancing strategy with intuition just feels so flowy and so
yeah,
balanced
yes.
and just a really beautiful way to be. So yeah, you answered that really, really well. So
You know what I find too, and I
yeah,
think you
yeah,
are very much like this, that having the balance of strategy and intuition, that's where the magic is. Because I think if, intuition is beautiful and great, but sometimes it just sits there and it's like, how do
yes.
we actually
How do we action it?
action
Yeah.
it and how do we execute on
Oh,
this?
absolutely.
And that's what I've been able to bring into um, very much the corporate world. So when I'm doing my exec coaching, um, some people are just like, oh, that's a bit too out there for me to think about, you know, intuition. And I know because you're surrounded with that all the time, but it's about introducing people to tapping into their own inner wisdom. It's really about them.
Sometimes if you change the language,
Yeah.
like, if I'm, with a client that's kind of more, you know,
Yeah.
more analytical,
Yes. Yes.
more in that corporate space. I've even got, a professor at the ANU that I have sessions with. You often change the language.
Yes.
Intuition becomes self-awareness.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And that's where our intuition helps us to be able to deliver it in a way that people understand it. I think that's the gifts that you and I and a lot of other people in your community have, is that we have those gifts that we can deliver it in a way that people can receive the messages.
So important. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it. I call it practical magic. I'm
Love it.
actually obviously very intuitive, and
Yes.
I'm a Piscean, so I'm
Mm.
that kind of real fluid, flowy, dreamy
Yeah.
fish. But in saying that, I'm also very pragmatic and practical,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
because self-awareness is simply self-awareness unless you do something with it, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm an Aries, so I have
How
fire
are you?
energy. Yeah, I have
Yeah,
fire energy
love it.
around me. So very practical though. So I'm very I guess the gifts that I've been given is being able to help put things into practice and being able to translate some complex stuff and make it pretty easy and simple for people to then go away and action. That's I didn't realize that that was my gift until, I don't know, whenever I realized that.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So you've danced with transformation in many forms.
Yeah.
What's the energetic signature of a life in flux? And how can we attune to its kind of deeper purpose?
Mhm. Gosh, there's so many stuff that comes forward then, Susie, when you
Yeah.
ask me that. Like I've worked in the transformation space for 40 plus years. That in this lifetime, I think in other lifetimes that's been part of who I've been as well. But in this lifetime, I I say that I fell into my career through. I didn't fall into my career. That was just the path that was for me. And so I've worked in change, change management, human behavior, mindset, organizational change, and transformation as well. And what I see, and personal transformation is where I really spend a lot of time now, is helping people through their own personal transformation. And when in flux is kind of that things feel hard, things feel disconnected, things, it's
Yes.
when people are kind of going, man, this just doesn't feel right. Or people start getting sick, or people start acting out of character. They get very needing to know minute, like what's tomorrow going to look like? And they're wanting to control things. So the flux is, and I'll give you an example of my life that I met you, like we're both Canberra, but I met you here at the coast a couple of months ago, and I um, I grew up in country New South Wales, but I lived in Canberra for 40 years. I think it was 40, probably more than 40 years. Yeah, no, 40 years. And we've just made this beautiful sea change to the coast. And we've got a beautiful 5-acre property. I call it my seaside sanctuary. And I really, I'm super, super proud of myself for being able to co-create that. And the life is beautiful, but I am in this state of transformation. I'm in this big state of change, moving from a life that I knew, a life that was great. It was a comfortable life. And we've moved to a new place that we know, but we don't know the people around. So it's about connecting with new people. It's about learning to live on a property versus living in suburbia. It's learning to, I'm 59, so I've just done my second Saturn return, literally the last couple of months. So there's been lots of change there as well, but it's also about change in what is this next phase of life going to look like for me, for myself, for my social, for my family, for my work. And it feels uncomfortable. Like lots of it feel beautiful, but Suzy, there's elements that feel uncomfortable because I'm in this messy middle. And when
Like
we were moving,
uncharted territory.
yeah,
It's
uncharted
like that
territory. Yeah.
growing pains, I call it.
Yes.
In the
Yes.
in-between,
The
it's
in
full of
between.
so much potential,
Yes.
but it's the getting used to the idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And I'm really good at seeing clearly, being able to
yes.
manifest and, you know, bring things to life. Whereas there are some elements here. And just backtracking a little bit, there was a family tragedy just before we moved here. My niece suddenly passed away, and it has had an impact on, um, our family, but also about that feeling of it's not okay to enjoy this beautiful new phase of life when there
Interesting.
is so
Yeah.
much grief
Very
happening.
common.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so the flux for me is
Yes.
feeling it's not okay to move forward and enjoy what I had envisaged. So,
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
and it's also about being comfortable in not being comfortable. I think change. So when we get back to that question of transformation, it can
Yeah.
be uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Firstly, sorry for your deep loss.
Thank you.
Um,
Yes. But yeah.
but, yeah, that's kind of like, allowing space for grief and allowing
Yeah.
space to, you know, be.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Just,
sorry, you go. Yeah.
I just saw beautiful
Oh, thank you.
rainbows in
Yeah.
around her. Yeah,
Thank you. That's
yeah,
beautiful. Thank you.
yeah,
And change and transformation is like grief because
yeah.
something is coming to an end. And whether that's of our own choosing or whether it is as happening to us, it's the end of a cycle. And
Yes,
it's about what was is no longer, but we don't know what is going to be.
that's
So
right.
it's that in between, the uncertainty is where people feel uncomfortable. They're wanting certainty, and sometimes we just need to sit with the discomfort and what is it that we're wanting for this new phase of
Beautiful. We're
life.
actually recording this on a new moon in Leo. So
Yes,
it's all
yes,
about leading from the heart and this conversation's very heartfelt, so
yes,
appropriate.
yes,
It
so
may not
appropriate.
come out on a new moon, but
No,
we're recording on
yes,
a new moon in Leo. I know that beautiful Aries energy that you have often too. It's like my daughter's an Aries, she's amazing. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. A certainty is something that she likes. She likes structure.
yes, yes,
Uh, yeah, wow, I love that. Identity unravels and the old self fades,
yeah,
the masks kind of fall away. What's the energetic kind of yeah, what threads do you reach to kind of reweave a new truth, if that makes sense? That's challenging, isn't it? You
mm,
know, to let the old die, if you like, or fade away,
yeah,
so that the new can be realised. It's not an easy thing, is it?
no, no, no.
How do we reweave the new? You know?
Do you know what I do? I'm
Yeah.
I see my life really sacred. I have a very sacred approach to my life. So, and I have a lot of ritual in life. And when I'm going through phases, so when I left Canberra, I had a ceremony about what this phase of life has been for me. So living in Canberra was for the 40 years that I was there. So that's where I studied. It's where I got my first job. It's where I met my husband. It's where I had my kids. It's where I bought my um, first and subsequent properties. And there was a whole lot of recognition around what has life been and the phase that I'm bringing to completion. And then, so ceremony around that, and then ceremony around what do I want this new phase to be like? So,
There we
what do
go.
I want
Yeah,
for
yeah,
my family? What do I want for where I'm living? What
yeah.
do I want for work? What do I want for me? And that energetic part is really about there are parts of me that have absolutely come here to the coast, and she is thriving and loving being here. But there are parts that I've left behind, and there are parts that I've honored, and that are no, it's almost like that snake skin, the shedding of the snake skin. And it's about, well, what I'm still the same. I'm still the same, like the snake is still the same, but who do I want to be in this version of life? So I do a lot of ceremony around that and honoring. And, am I her? Yes, of course I am. But there are also parts of me that are evolving as well. So
Yes.
it's about
Yeah.
I guess, the shedding and the honoring, and really important for me in those transformation pieces. And like I've done a lot of, I'm all about the inner work. I'm all
Yeah.
about the inner work that we can create those beautiful outer wonders in life, but
Everything's so without,
it's
right?
doing like that's just a life journey for me, which
Yeah,
I think is similar for you as well.
exactly. Ceremony is a big part of my life.
Yeah.
Um, you know, kind of, yeah, I think to live consciously,
Yes.
and to have really beautiful rituals and
Yeah.
those beautiful rites of passage, I think are
Yeah.
just such a beautiful way to live, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Love that so much. And, you know, yeah, um, I think, celebrating, how far we've come. But when you said too, like, what do I want?
Mm.
I know for me, like, same thing, living in Canberra
Yeah.
for many years, very similar. I really align to your story because my story is very similar.
Mm.
And coming to the coast, um, a very different lifestyle,
Yeah. Yeah.
what do I want? It's kind of like, I think if you can work out what you truly want and allow
Yeah.
that to kind of unfold and unfurl, yeah, it's, and get excited about, the what next as well.
Yeah.
It may
Yeah.
look different. It may
Yeah.
be different.
Yeah.
It took me 2 years to get really super comfortable here at the
Yeah.
coast. I'm
Yeah.
at Lillypilly,
Yes.
and I've got 3.5 acres of trees. So you and I have got
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
similar, very
Yeah.
similar story.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm really rooted here now. I feel like
Yes.
I've got community here now. It's a different, slower pace, but
Yeah.
it's also a very creative stage of my life as well. Yeah, such a great answer. I love that. Yeah.
Can I share
Mm,
something with you, Susie,
yeah.
around that? That I slowing down has been hard for me. I've
Yes.
I like being busy. I like being
Yes.
busy. Sometimes I get too busy, but I like being busy. I like feeling productive. And I knew that this would be a different pace, and I was all
Yeah.
up for that. When we moved here, so it was um, on the back of the tragedy of my niece passing away. I was sort of sitting with I was describing to somebody that it felt like I had a seatbelt on. You know, when you're in the car and your seatbelt
Yeah.
locks and you're trying to move and you're just pinned, and the more you try and unlock the seatbelt, the harder it pins you. And it was just like I feel trapped. because I can't move at the pace. The universe was just kind of saying, Catherine, you just need to slow down and you need to heal. You need to heal. And then I spent a lot of time. The beach is a really, really healing place. And the beach that we're at Bingy, so a little bit further south than you. And the beach here has been so incredibly healing for me personally. But it felt like I had come home to who I am, and not just coming home to the coast, but a deeper rooted, I've come home. And that was really healing. And then this year, so that was probably sort of a 6 and 8 month, probably nearly 12 months in all honesty. And I felt like the seatbelt was starting to loosen, but it was still pinned. I was still pinned, but I could move in the seatbelt.
Yeah.
And then I was talking with my coach recently, just sharing that experience. And he said, what would it feel like if you were able to release the seatbelt? And he said, what would it feel like? What would it be like if you didn't have the seatbelt on? So that's what I'm going through in this time. What does that feel like to be free? And what do I need to do to undo the seatbelt? Because really, it's up to me. And if there's something in that for your listeners about what is it that's pinning, my metaphor is the seatbelt, but what is it that's holding you back? And what would it feel like if you were free from being held back? And
Yeah.
what is it that you can do? And sometimes we don't have, sometimes we can tap into the answers ourselves, but sometimes we need somebody else to help reflect
Oh,
that back to
yeah,
us. And that's the work that
exactly.
you and I do, is
Yeah.
helping people. Like my coach reflected back to me going, well, what would
What would that
freedom feel
feel
like?
like
Yes.
if you could release that
Yeah.
seatbelt?
And what can you do then to be able to release it? And I'll be really open with you that this week has been hugely cathartic, because I think I've released that seatbelt, and
Oh,
it
wow.
feels like such a beautiful relief and release. So I
Yes.
know what it feels like to that question you asked me, that flux, that that what does it feel like to be in transformation? For me, that's what it feels like.
I love that you kind of allowed it though,
Yeah, yeah,
like that
yeah,
beautiful allowing,
yeah.
and then, you know, and then that conscious release, the
Mm,
letting go, the
mm,
surrender of the
mm,
seatbelt,
yeah.
and then celebrating that,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's the perfect segue into this
Yeah. Yeah.
next question.
Yeah. Yeah.
You must be psychic or something. Um, you know, I know with a lot of my clients, there's always this kind of reoccurring
Yeah.
theme,
Yeah.
limiting belief, disruptive belief that people hold on to about transformation. I often get them saying things to me like, I feel stuck,
Yes.
or I don't know what I really want. I love the
Yeah.
way you said, what would it feel like?
Yeah.
If you can't even work that out, try and imagine what it would look like.
Yes. Yeah.
Know that you deserve it, right? So, what's a common kind of, whatever you want to call it, it's almost like a negative mantra that we all
Yeah. Yeah.
say, throughout,
Mm.
that fear of change. Yeah.
Yeah. I I think you hit it on the head when you said I'm stuck. I hear that a lot with my
Do
people.
you? Yeah,
I don't know what I want. And for
that's
some
it.
people that's legitimate. That is legitimate
Yeah.
because they haven't allowed themselves the freedom to explore what they would want. And in all honesty, I'm going through that now. Somebody who's really good at working things out is like, I don't know. I don't know why this seatbelt. But
What is that now?
yeah, but what I do with my clients is when they say, yeah, I don't know, I go, but if you did know, what would the answer be? And then I just go, shut my mouth and I let them reflect on it, because I think sometimes we have trained ourselves to go, yeah, I don't know. We can't really quickly. What's the answer to that? I don't know. What do you want?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
I don't
that's
know.
that's so true. That
And that's
automatic response.
automatic
Yeah.
response. So, but if you did know what you wanted, what would that be? And if
Yes.
nothing comes forward, it's then going, well, if I did know, if I knew what I truly, truly wanted to do in this next phase of my life, what would that be? And then it's listening to those little inklings. I think sometimes, and you probably find this a lot with the people you work with and who are attracted to you, it's about learning how to access their intuition and their inner knowing. Because if we have the silence there and if we keep asking, the answers will come to us.
Yes.
So
You're
I
right.
hear a
I
lot of,
think too, yeah, different stages of life are busier
yes,
in different
yeah,
ways,
yes,
you know.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so, you know, perhaps it's because, you haven't had the time and space
yeah, yeah,
to even think about self, right?
yes, yes,
Um,
yeah,
we're also taught that perhaps that's a selfish way of thinking,
yes, yes,
right? Um, another limiting belief, especially for women, you
yeah,
know. Yeah, I love that. I love that you hold space for your clients to have their own epiphany as well.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. That I guess
so
that's
powerful.
what I do, and I'm sure you do that too. That I'm I'm not about giving advice. I don't give advice. I hold space and I allow them. I help them with a process so that they can access what it is that they need. So it's about
Yes.
providing that path. And I think we talked about it off air. Shining the light for others to be able to find their path. Um, is something that I do there. And a lot of the women that I work with, it's so, so sad that they don't believe that they are capable of, or that they're like a lot of that low confidence and that imposter
Imposter
syndrome.
syndrome. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big one.
Yeah. Do you find that
Yeah.
with yours? I find, yeah.
Uh, you call your beautiful, soulful business the Happiness Hive. Joy is often really elusive in the
Yeah.
thick of change.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you kind of evoke it as a tool and, a medicine, if you
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
or even, inspiration for someone to move forward? I'm curious because I think this is really important, I think, to have that conscious pivot or shift in regards to finding the joy in it. Yeah.
Mm. Can I just share with you why I called it the Happiness Hive? And it's so I had a really beautiful childhood, beautiful, beautiful childhood. And then the day before my 12th birthday, my mum suddenly passed away. Where she was not, she was unwell, but not, you're about to pass away at 39 unwell. And that just rocked my world in a way that I just froze. And, you can imagine as a 12-year-old, there was no counselling. This was in the 1970s. I'll whisper that, the 1970s. But so I just got on with life. And there was part of me that became very strong and very capable. But there was a part of me that really just second guessed everything that I did, because it was just like, "Oh, I don't even know how to do life." And then it was probably 10 years, I would say, when I started working and I got exposed to some really beautiful self development practices through the work that I was doing. I was studying, uh, I was teaching adults in the workplace. And so I was doing a lot of study around that. So I got exposed to all these beautiful practices that helped me to do the healing that I needed to do. And that was sort of the journey of my personal spiritual development, my healing. And in my sort of mid to late 20s, I made a vow to myself that I was going to become the very best that I could be and live my best and most beautiful life that I could live in. Because one of the beliefs I had after mum passed away is that it's not okay to be happy. Like, you can't be sad, but you can't be happy. And it was just this weird mix of not very helpful um, emotions and strategies. So when I had more tools in how I could um, heal and grow, I made that very conscious decision that I will commit the rest of my life to living my life to the absolute fullest and to making the
Oh,
most of life. So when
yes.
I came to the point of opening up the personal coaching arm of my business, I thought it's about gathering and collect, that connection and the hive mentality, but
Well,
it's
I love it.
about that happiness and joy. And for me, really, bliss is like happiness on steroids. So when I'm working, that's what I embody and that's what I live every day, even when I'm sad and in the deepest, darkest depths of grief, I still hold that light that I will get through this, and that commitment to doing it the best I can and to being that, I guess, that beacon of encouragement for others.
Yeah.
And so when you ask the question about how do I bring in that joy and how do I help others, it's really about, after my niece passed away, this mantra just came, was about life is precious, so live it well. You never know what's going to happen. So when I'm with it, say for example, a corporate client who is talking about how crappy their job is, and it's just like, well, can you imagine living the rest of your life in this job? Because life is precious. So what is it? How are you going to live it well? And is
Yes.
choosing to be in, and I say consciously choosing to be in this role and remain where you are, is that going to be living life well? And then I just shut my mouth and I just let them ponder on that. So
I
I,
love that.
mm,
You're that beautiful change maker way shower. I just love that you hold space for your clients, but also, plant that seed of like, is this what you want for the rest of your life?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And happiness is, sometimes people say, oh, happiness is just such an elusive thing. To me, happiness, like that saying says, is an inside job.
Yeah,
It's about what does it mean for you? Because my version of happiness might be very, very different to
yeah,
yours.
true.
And it's about, well, what does it mean to you? And what are you going to do if you're not getting it externally? So is the boyfriend or the husband the thing that makes you happy? Sure. But if you're only getting that through that external validation, and that's not healthy. So it's
Oh, I
about where can
totally
you get
agree.
that happiness
That
from you?
conditional happiness.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be happiness if or when.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
I'll be happy, I'll be happy if my husband's happy in his job, or
Yeah.
I'll be happy when, when I move, or
Mm.
I'll be happy when I'm in a
Yeah.
relationship, or
Yeah.
basically it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with those things, but at the
No.
same time, it's kind of like giving your power away, because
Yeah.
I totally agree that happiness is that inside job. It's very different for everyone.
Yes.
And true fulfillment's different to any kind of artificial happiness,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And for me, when we moved to the coast, my husband went along with it, but our property, Ananda, which means bliss and joy in Sanskrit. And it's
Beautiful.
about the essence that's what the property means to me and living here means to me. But when people come to visit, I want this to be an energetic imprint of feeling amazing, that I
And
want
of
them to
course
go
it will.
away feeling even better about life than when they arrived. So happiness is
Intention is so powerful.
very important.
Setting the scene, yeah.
Mm, mm,
Getting into that energy of that. We
mm.
built our property on the biggest chunk of rose quartz you've ever seen. And
Oh,
I'll never forget Tony passing over to the rose quartz to the builder going, mate, do you think you could put this in the middle of the slab? Like,
wow.
Suze wants it in the middle of the kitchen. So can you kind of like make it happen? And to Tony's surprise, the builder went, yeah, mate, my wife's into all of that. I can do that. Oh, how cool, So,
How cool. That is super
yeah,
cool.
yeah. So, and for me, yeah, that that's that anchor to, love. So
Yeah.
really beautiful.
Yeah. And for me, that's
Intention's
really,
powerful.
Yeah, to me, it's really that divine alignment that,
Yes.
and from this, that do I wish that my mum didn't pass away when I was 12? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And do I wish my niece didn't pass away? Do I wish all the other people in my life and the hardship didn't happen? Absolutely. But
Yeah.
those things happened and they were
Yes.
part of my life and part of my learnings for this life. But the beauty of it is that what I do in my business was born from those things. So from, I know
That's
what it's
right.
like to live in really, challenging and traumatic um, situations, but I also know what it's like to be really happy and love life. And that's what I choose. And so for me, it's like that divine alignment. Bliss is my divine
Oh, I love
alignment.
that. You're speaking my language.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that congruent way to live, you
Yes,
know,
yes.
that very deliberate way of
Very deliberate.
living.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean, every day's perfect, doesn't
No,
mean that
no,
stuff doesn't happen. It
no.
doesn't mean that, you didn't want that tragedy to happen. It just means that, you know, um, even like seeing the beauty,
Yes,
there's even beauty in grief, because the reason you
yes.
grieve so deeply is because you loved
Loved
so
so
deeply.
deeply. Yeah.
You loved so deeply.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes.
I'm really curious too,
Yeah,
through the lens of the Happiness Hive,
yeah.
you know, it's like, belonging and being seen helps someone sort of rise from the rubble,
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How does that kind of like, I know that you
Oh,
do,
that's exactly what
that's
the
exactly it,
whole
right?
community is
Yeah.
about helping others to be the very best versions that they can be. It's about being in that community of
Yeah.
like-mindedness, of inspiration, of encouragement, of um, holding space. It's the support. It's the, I got you, sister. I get what you're
Yeah,
going
that's it.
through. And I've been there, or I might not have been exactly where you are, but
Yeah.
I'm just holding space and I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'll just be with you. And it's also about um, celebrating and allowing and just the community spirit of, for me, the collective is greater than the individuals, that we're all beautiful individuals, but when we get
Yes.
together, we're freaking amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, without a doubt.
Because if
I
you
love
think of a
that.
hive, like a beehive,
Yeah.
like that's a really, really intelligent system. And it's complex,
Yes.
but it's all connected. And the
So
power,
good.
and if you
Yeah.
think of bees, that we wouldn't be here, they're kind of like these propping up humanity. And,
Yes.
and when we add that sprinkling of happiness and joy and feeling great about who we are, it's that for me, then just kind of flows out like this beautiful
Like an effervescent,
effervescence.
vibrant,
Yes.
golden deliciousness of connection and
Yeah. Yeah.
friendship and joy and
Yes.
laughter and
Yes.
support and
Yes.
um, even weaving, even like, you don't have to agree on everything,
No,
but
no,
finding that
no.
beautiful, higher and happier ground,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's true teamwork, right? So, yay,
And it's
love
also about
that.
celebrating each person as an individual, that it's very much individuality. Authenticity is one of my, catch cries, that about, you do you, and, love being you, and your rules, your life, your way, and I can do me, but we can celebrate each other even if we do life very differently. So that very non-judgy, um, yeah,
Yes.
is hugely
Well, I don't know
important.
about you, but
Hugely
I'd
important.
rather live in a world of Neapolitan than vanilla,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
You might like chocolate chip. I might
Yeah.
like
Yes.
pistachio.
Yes.
It's all
Exactly.
good. Imagine
That's
how
good.
boring it would be.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, how there's so many white cars on the road at the moment.
Yes.
It's like, for
Yes.
goodness sake, we need colour on the roads, because
Yeah.
are we going to have just this world of white cars? I
Yeah.
think it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what's the
I
colour?
see that. Do
Like
you see
really
that a
appreciating
lot?
each other's differences. Yeah.
Yeah, I see it a lot with the introduction of AI. And I've noticed
Yes.
it where a lot of people are sounding very generic. And a lot of
Yes.
people, I think AI is great and I use AI. It's been very,
Yes.
very helpful for me in a whole range of things. But I'm seeing a lot of stuff sound very generic and very,
Exactly.
and even I was following
Very
somebody,
vanilla.
yeah, very
Yeah.
vanilla. And
Like, where's the art? Where's the,
where's the
and I'm
art?
with you, I
Yeah.
use AI. I think if you don't, you're going to be left behind.
I think
But
I
in
agree too.
saying that, yeah, it's so important that we bring our own creativity, our
Yes.
own
Yeah.
essence, our
Yeah.
own flavour
Yes. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
to the collective.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you think about it, AI is just dipping into the collective consciousness anyway.
Yes. Yes.
And it's just a reflection on what's going on out there anyway.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
important that we continue to bring, the colour through, the
Yeah.
the vibrancy, the unique creativity, the all the
Yeah.
really juicy stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally agree with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we're going to crave authenticity, actually. I think we're craving more of it.
Yeah.
We're craving more realness. And I
Yes.
think that's going to happen more and more and more.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes. Absolutely. And that's one of the things I get. Like, part of me goes, oh man, should I be sharing this or not? But it is about that authenticity piece. And
yes,
I don't think it's helpful just to see the curated positivity. You've got to be, again, it's conscious. What is it that you're sharing? I think there are some things that are, for me, that are definitely off limits and I won't share them. But there is that element of, when I've been going through this last year, it's been a roller coaster. And I know that we talked about the roller coaster of change. This last year has been a very, very, very rocky roller coaster. And it's about sharing the roller coaster that I've been on. And some days I've kind of gone, you know what? This does not need to be shared. But that's where I guess another one of my gifts is to be able to share from the experiences that
I
I'm
love that.
having.
A
Yeah.
genuine
Yeah.
experience,
Yeah.
vulnerability.
Yeah.
There's so much
Yeah.
wisdom in story.
Mm.
Um, and, it's a collective story.
Yeah.
We all
Yeah.
grieve.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
all have
Yeah.
transition and change,
Yeah.
you know. Um, change is growth, but it can also be,
Mm.
that painful
Yes.
metamorphosis, right? So we all experience different but similar.
Yeah.
We're very similar,
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that so, so much. So
This is a
all of
really
your,
weird,
yeah,
sorry, I
yeah,
was going to say, this might seem a bit insignificant for some people, but this is a big metaphor. I talk in metaphors a lot as well, but I'm growing my hair out at the moment.
yeah.
So I had a very short pixie cut for a number of years. When I first went grey, I shaved my hair as a transformation about getting back to the real, the rawness of who I am.
Almost like that naked truth.
Naked
Yeah.
truth, absolutely. And then my hair grew out grey and I kept it as a pixie cut and I have loved that. And when I go through big changes, or what I have done is I would get a dramatic haircut. But
Yeah.
because I already had a pixie cut, it was like, oh, so I'm doing a reverse kind of transformation and I'm growing my hair out. And it has been painful. It has been, when it gets to that bit from the pixie cut to,
Grey's been painful for me. People say, oh, I'm going to go grey gracefully. Well, I'm not doing it quite so gracefully. I'm doing it a bit more dramatically.
yeah. See, I love my grey, but I'm not
Yeah.
loving the length or the look. So I've got bobby pins in there, but that in
It's really
between bit,
stylish.
oh, because I was just like, nah, I reckon I'm going to go and chop it all off again. And that's what people do with change because they want to
Yes.
go back.
They
It's
want to revert.
uncomfortable. And I want to revert to what was comfortable. And I see it a lot with women in relationships that they've left a
Yes.
relationship or they've been left and they're
Yes.
wanting to go out and kind of like or feeling like I need to leave this relationship, but there's like, nah, it's safe what I know,
Even if it's unpleasant,
even if it's unpleasant.
it's
So
comfortable. because
Comfortable.
it's familiar.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
maybe ask that question, what what will it be like if I stay where I am?
good
And I'm not
question.
saying you always have to change, but what would it be like if I did um, feel
Yes,
safe enough to make the changes?
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm.
Yeah,
So it feels uncomfortable. Change is generally, even the exciting change, can be uncomfortable. And
and
it's
it's
about,
also inevitable,
yes, yeah,
and it's
yeah,
also growth.
yes, yeah, yeah,
So, yeah,
mm,
but, the growing pains through the growth,
yes, yeah, yeah,
creating that new neural pathway.
yes, yes,
If you build a
absolutely,
highway
yes,
in your head, you
yes,
know, that's uncharted territory.
yes, yeah.
But you will build that new highway,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
and you've got to
That
keep persevering, even just chipping
yeah,
little bit by little bit by little bit.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
Baby steps are great,
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness, I love it. So
Love, love,
great
love,
talking to you,
love,
Catherine.
love.
Um, all of your beautiful contact details will be in the show notes.
Thank
I
you.
did pull a card for you, and it's so perfect, especially after our conversation.
Awesome.
um, being the new moon, we've got the beautiful fertility card here.
Oh, perfect.
Can you see that beautiful,
Yeah. Yes.
beautiful kind of, sacred womb, the baby in the womb, the baby being delivered? It's that beautiful new beginning, the new moon. It is the fertility card, allowing the new beginning to blossom, you
Beautiful.
know, um, as opposed to, as you said, trying to revert back to
Yes.
the old familiar,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, um, through birth, through positive pain, I call it,
Mm.
is a fruitful, floral, beautiful new beginning. And, it's like I celebrate new beginnings with bubbly anticipation.
Love.
And the bubbly anticipation just felt so you with your effervescent, bubbly
Oh,
energy.
thank you.
Even the name of your business, the Happiness Hive. It's conceive, perceive, and believe. And if you can't believe,
Mm.
just faith it till you make it. Yeah.
Oh, Susie, that's beautiful. And do you know, it's interesting when I was looking at that illustration, how
Yes.
beautiful, like the floral, to me, there was a real beauty in the rebirthing that some people
Yes.
see that as scary, but I see that as a real beauty in the rebirthing. And this morning, when I did my
I love
meditation,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
when I did my meditation this morning, there was a version of me that came forward who has um, was doing some shadow work, and she was it wasn't a part of me that I was familiar with, but it showed me her in the womb, and it actually went down the maternal lineage of healing some ancestral
Oh,
wounds down
wow.
the maternal
Well, that's
lineage. So it's
profound.
interesting that you've shown the fertility and the womb when I had
Yes.
an image this morning around being in the womb. So how cool is that? And then we're
Can't
doing
make
that
that up,
on the
right?
new moon. You can't make that up, can
You
you?
can't make that up.
You can't make that up. So
That's
that's the
beautiful.
power of
That's the
the
power.
connection, the collective, and the connection, and also that power of um, intuition. Like you drew a card, I've got my intuition, but just being intertwined. That's
So
very,
synchronistic and so
very
connected.
so cool.
So
Love it.
beautiful.
Love, love, love.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. I loved our chat.
Yeah, that was
Infinite
beautiful.
heartfelt blessings to you, my love. Bye for
Thank you.
now.